Duelists. Subterror. We're really scraping the bottom of the barrel at this point with these deck choices, but fuck you guys. I love Subterror just like I love Earth's Arctic. Let's talk about it. Subterror is a flip archetype. Flipping them up, flipping them back down. Playing control mostly. Very back row heavy deck. As you can see, we have very few monsters, and we're really playing the long game, grind them out, and to an extent, control and floodgatey sort of strategy. Let's get into it. So the Subterror archetype is really held together by this card right here, Subterror Guru. On flip, you can search one from the deck. Also, this can Book of Moon another monster and itself, and if we have another Subterror, we can do that at quick effect speed. So this thing is really the whole package in terms of not only being able to search through all the Subterrors that we might want to have, but also providing disruption to our opponent and resetting itself in the process. Next up, the next best Subterror is going to be Subterror Fiendus. This is going to be our negate. We can send this card from the hand or field to the grave, flip another Subterror monster we control face down, and negate the activation. Now, notably, this does not destroy, but we can negate anything that we want, say a spell card activation, a hand trap, whatever it is. In addition, when this is on the field, since we can send it from the field or hand to the grave, when this is on the field, we can target another face-up monster we control, flip it face down, and special summon a Subterror from either our hand or our graveyard. This is a way to get out the potentially larger Subterrors that we have. We're only playing one, but if you want to play a more strictly Subterror build, you can go for those, as well as recurring our Subterrors from the grave since we have so few of them. Subterror Nemesis Archer, we're just playing as a one of. We can easily search this off either a Subterror Guru or the Hidden City, which I'll get to, and this allows us to shuffle back an opponent's monster if this is attacking an opponent's face down position and we have another Subterror monster. As I've said before, we have plenty of ways to flip our opponent's monsters face down, so being able to shuffle a potentially problematic card back into the deck is very huge. In addition, when this is destroyed and sent to the grave, we can once again special summon a Subterror monster from our deck. So we're always being able to continually have resource generation since we are playing so few monsters. Lastly, Subterror Behemoth Umastrix. This is our removal. When it's flipped up, we can banish a monster our opponent controls. In addition, all of the large Subterror cards, once again, we're only playing this one, but all of them have the condition when a face-up monster we control is flipped face down. If we control no face-up monsters, we can special summon this from the hand in defense position. In addition, this can also flip itself back face down once per turn. So if we say summon Subterror Guru or have it flipped up, we can then activate Subterror Guru, Book of Moon, our opponent's monster, and our Subterror Guru, and that would trigger our Umastrix to special summon to the field. Though we do have a few ways to special summon this deck, we do have to be careful because we're running a ton of draw spells. Notably, Pot of Duality is going to dig us into either something like the Hidden City or our Subterror Guru. We're playing Pot of Extrav. Our extra deck has some utility for us, but generally we're just going to be sending it so that we can keep drawing cards and then a singular Pot of Prosperity. All right, now let's talk the Hidden City. This is the Subterror field spell. When it's activated, add a Subterror monster from deck to hand. Normally going to be adding Guru. If we already have Guru, we're going to get Fiendus. In addition, once per turn, we can change a face-down defense position monster we control to face-up attack position. So this is a great way for us to set a monster and then immediately get those flip effects. And then on our opponent's turn, if they declare an attack, we can change a face-down defense position Subterror monster we control face-up and actually negate that attack, so we can protect our Subterrors, who are generally pretty frail other than Umastrix having a large butt. Just a couple more Subterror spells and traps. We have one Cave Clash. Once again, this is easily searchable with everything that we have, but it can beef up our Subterrors, giving them 500 attack and defense for each set monster on the field. Once again, that's not only ours, but our opponent's. And some recursion. Whenever we are dealing combat damage to our opponent, we can target a Subterror card in our graveyard. Does not have to be a Subterror monster, notably, and bring that back to the hand. Lastly, Subterror Final Battle. This is one of those traps that sticks around even after activating, though it's not a continuous trap. After we activate it, it will just set itself face down, and this really does a whole host of things. Flip down your Subterrors, you can flip them face up. You can make their attack and defense equal to their combined original attack and defense value, which is great for any sort of combat shenanigans, as well as making sure that all of your Subterror effects can't be negated this turn. So this is really a jack of all trades, a great thing to have in the back row since we can use it every turn. Lastly, just a few more powerful back row cards. a couple of imperms, a couple of solemns, a couple of strikes, 2 Gozen. We are playing all earth monsters, so this is a great way to just get some free wins. We've got 2 Dogmatic of Punishment. Once again, this is where the extra deck comes in. We have some of the fossil monsters to banish from the grave and destroy either monsters or spell traps. We've got a few big things to nuke stuff. Notably, we just have all these minis so that we have redundancy in case we hit them off Extravagance or Prosperity. And then finally, lastly, in the main deck, we're playing 2 Unending Nightmare, a wonderful spell trap where we can any number of times pay 1,000 life points and destroy a face-up spell trap on the field. This is a great way to get rid of opposing floodgates or problematic field spells. Finally, in the extra deck, we're playing just utility. We have 2 Fiendises out. We can go Slacker Magician into Downward into Zeus. If we have 2 Gurus out, we can go the Zodiac line into Zeus. And we also have a Baguska as an additional floodgate. That's the deck. Make sure you stay tuned till the end of the video when I give you a few ways to modify this deck and some additional packages that you might be able to tech in. Let's delve into some games. Oh yeah, look at that hand. All right, now we are unfortunately on the draw, and our opponent is a dirty bastard. Okay, so opponent playing Stun, right? Inspector Border, one of the most inscrutable cards in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I will definitely find that out over the course of this game. Also, just a 4-star normal summon 2K. Pretty messed up, but this is a floodgate and a half, so we're gonna have our work cutting out for it. Luckily, we have a majority of the tools we need at our disposal. Fire that Terraforming first just to see if they've got any hand traps. We'll get a Hidden City. We will activate said Hidden City. We are basically always getting Guru. Here's Guru. Now, here's my first misread of Inspector Border. I set the Guru and flip it up, and I really thought that I would have at least 1 activation, but no, I don't have any activation. So let's Pot of Duality, see what we can find off the top. Pot of Extrav feels actually very nice to set up next turn. This turn is already somewhat a wash. We'll activate the Cave Clash just in case, set the Solemn Judgment, and pass it back. Now, they are going to eat our Guru, but let's hope that they don't have anything to follow it up. Okay, well, there's a Pachycephalo. Luckily, we are not really special summoning, so that's fine, and we can eat this with pretty much all of the monsters in our deck. But still, just another reason why we need to beat our opponent, because they are a filthy stun player. All right, Ash Blossom doesn't feel like it's going to do much. Let's Extravagance, see if we can get a little bit more fuel. Always sending the full 6. And not too bad of a banish. We did lose our Zeus package, but that's fine. Gozen plus Impermanence is pretty darn huge. We'll send out the Nemesis Archer and attack over. And since we dealt damage, we can actually get back that Guru with our Cave Clash. Gozen's going to be huge, so our opponent can't summon any more Floodgates, and Impermanence is going to be huge to negate the Inspector Border so that we can set up properly next turn. All right, I'm going to fire that Gozen in the draw phase just in case. If we can keep our opponent on just this 1 monster, that will be fine. They are going to once again eat our Archer. That's okay. They're going to set 2 more. Don't love to see it, but I think we have the tools necessary to get back here. We do have that. All right, let's fire the Imperm, negate the Inspector Border, and get off to the races. Step 1, set the Guru. Step 2, activate Hidden City, flipping the Guru. Guru's going to add. They're going to attempt to Imperm. I need to Judgment this because this is actually going to negate my Judgment if I let it go through. I want to make further plays on, so we will go down to 32. Solemn Judgment, negating the Imperm, and now we're going to add Fienist. An additional negate. Now we can flip them both down. Activate our Umastrix. They're going to go, then can be only 1. That's fine. We are now face down, so we're chilling. And also another thing is that all of our Subterrors are different types. So theoretically, we could play there can be only 1 as well. That might be something to consider. The Umastrix is going to go. We can set it face down with itself. And unfortunately, can't flip it back up. So we won't be able to negate our Inspector Border. They will attack in, but we can, the Hidden City, it's going to flip up. Since we have Cave Clash, we're actually going to get that buff. I'm going to choose not to negate the attack. And since they were dealt damage, we can get back that Nemesis Archer. All right, here's another Extrav. We'll gladly fire that, get a little bit more going on. Now, unfortunately, we don't have another way to negate the Inspector Border. They're going to activate Armor. What is this card? Add an Equip spell. Okay. They're getting Moon Mirror Shield. All right, so Moon Mirror Shield basically says if you try and do combat, you're not allowed to. Now, luckily, we drew into one of our few outs in the deck, Unending Nightmare. Okay, so we just got to put up with things a little bit longer. Now, luckily, Cave Clash is going to make all of our Subterrors pretty buff. and their inspector won't be able to get over. And now we can flip Unending Nightmare and immediately fire that, getting rid of the Moon Mirror Shield. Moon Mirror Shield will trigger. They're going to put it back on top, but I don't think they're going to have another turn. All right, let's go to battle. Let's send these to attack position. Let's get rid of that There Can Be Only One, just in case. And let's attack over. Our opponent going to go Crackdown, going for the Umastrix. That's fine. Gozen Match is going to make sure that they have to send the Umastrix, which we can then conveniently recycle back with our Cave Clash. And now, finally, the Inspector Border is added. And with the Forces of Evil defeated, our opponent will scoop it up. All right, on the play, hand looking a tad crusty, but Terraforming is going to help all of our issues. We're going to get the Hidden City, and the Hidden City is, of course, going to add us a Guru. All right, we can set that Guru face down, then use the effect of the Hidden City to flip them up and add ourselves a Fiendus, and now we are in business. We can set 3 and pass it over. All right, opponent going for a Rhoda and adding a Sky... All right, Sky Striker. Okay. Well, on point of resolution, I'm going to activate Gozen Match now because all of the Sky Strikers are different attributes, and I don't want Ray being online. All right, they are going to go for the Area 0, targeting the Ray. They're going to add themselves an Engage, and that Ray is going to get sent to the grave because they cannot tag out in response. They're going to go for a Maneuver, and I will negate with the Fiendus, flipping the Guru back down. And since we flip down, we control no other face-up monsters, we can get that Umastrix out there to start banishing. Now, of course, they have Engage because they always do. And they're going to go for the Jamming Waves. I'll fire the Call by the Grave off just because that's going to get destroyed anyway. And we can hit the Ray, get that out of there just in case it attempts to special summon. Unfortunately, they do get to destroy our Guru. We will flip Umastrix face down, and then since they have no monsters, we will pass it back. Now, I really should have probably went for the battle. I forgot about Final Battle allowing me to get that power boost, but they're going to go for Area 0 again. Finding off the top a multi-roll. All right, this is getting a little dangerous. I'm going to go Final Battle, flipping up the Umastrix so that I have the Fiendus to negate the multi-roll. That is, that's one bullet dodged, but we know Sky Striker can get quite nasty. They're going to pass it back to us. All right, that's an Imperm off the top, which is not bad, but now we're going to go for the Umastrix up, and in the battle phase, we're going to activate Final Battle, going up to 47. Now, had I not made that mistake last turn, that would have been game right there, but we can flip the Umastrix back face down, getting ready to banish as necessary, and we can set the Impermanence. But of course, always punished, our opponent draws the Feather Duster off the top, and there is nothing that we can do about it. Would have liked to have been able to potentially activate our Impermanence on our own Umastrix, but it must be face up, and I should have chained the final battle in, and I had no way to decide to chain the Final Battle in something like Standby. I didn't know what they were going to do. All right, now our opponent can do the whole thing. They're going to go Kagari. They're going to find another multi-roll, of course. Kagari will trigger. They're going to get back Engage. Konami, ban this freaking card already. Oh my god. Pretty soon, I'm just going to scoop it up here. There's no reason for me to continue. Definitely threw that by not attacking that first time with the Umastrix, but I was really trying to play the defensive grindy game, and not only having a 2700 butt, but also being able to flip up and banish felt more important than potentially getting in for a little bit of damage, and I didn't want to get attacked over by something like a Kagari if it came down. This is already looking like a great hand. Lead off with the Pod Duality just to see if we can find anything off the top. Fiendus is looking real nice, but Called By is just too powerful, especially with the turn we're setting up. I think I have to grab it. Let's set 4 and pass the turn. We have the Maxi, which is great. We have no way to flip up Guru, so I was opting for the Called By just in case. Our opponent's going to go for Unizombie. I'm going to fire the Gozen now, and then also Dogmatica Punishment because I don't want them to be able to activate that Unizombie. Our opponent's going to set a couple back row and pass it back to us. Okay, so Called By is ready to shotgun if we need to, but in the meantime, we can just flip up that Subterror Guru and get our engine online unless we get Impermanence. Well, that would That really sucks. Okay, so I suppose we're just going to go to battle and hit in for a clean 16. And that'll be it. Waiting for opponent to go off with special summoning. I'd love to fire this Maxi. There's a Necrolord Banshee, and they're just gonna let it chill and eat our Guru. Okay. Not ideal, but it is what it is. They can fire that off at any time, so Hidden City is a huge draw. Probably the second best card in the deck behind Subterror Guru. Let's activate that bad boy and get ourselves a second Guru. Set that one face down, and then we can fire the Hidden City to flip it up and get ourselves another search. There's a Fiendus we're going to be negating. I'm thinking if we can negate the Necroworld Banshee effect. Now we're going to go for that Book of Moon effect on the Guru. That's going to put the Necro Banshee face down, and then we can get that Umastrix out there and actually take this time to flip it face down just in case our opponent decides to attack into it. We can get things going. Oh, well, there's the second Necroworld Banshee, and they're going to fire it right away. Zombie World is in play, ladies and gentlemen. Notably did not flip up the other Necroworld Banshee. Interesting. Well, we can flip ours up and banish that, get that out of there. And Guru will get up, and we will get a search off of that, unless they Super Poly. Super Poly pitching the Shiranui. Okay. Once again, not ideal. They're going to go into Drake. I don't even know what that card is. Luckily, it's not going to be on field for long. Let's go Fossil Warrior Skull Knight that we sent off the Dogmatica Punishment to just get that out of here. We can Terraforming. Hidden City is not a once per turn. So we can fire that again. Grab another Subterror Guru. Set that baby face down. Flip it face up. Let's get another... Oh, we already got our search for the turn. So we can still get in for 16. All right, not really sure what our opponent could have. Oh, they could have a Glow Up Bloom that they're going to link off into a Link Karibo. When that Glow Up Bloom goes to the grave, it's going to banish itself, and they're going to add. But you know what? We are going to negate. Let's put that Guru face down. I don't want them searching anything. And that's just going to cause our opponent to end the turn. They must be bricking a bit, which is fine for us. Solemn Judgment, there we go. That's going to be a powerful negate. Let's flip that Guru face up and get ourselves a search. How about another Fiendus? A little bit more negation for you all. Now we can normal summon our Nemesis Archer, and let's get in. I am suspecting that the Link Karibo is going to, it's going to send our Guru face down. We'll continue the attack just, display a little dominance, but we'll get in there for another 16. All right, we are going to have lethal on board. Our opponent has to do something. They're going to go for a Mizuki. I'm going to, since I have another Subterror, quick effect with the Guru and flip them both face down. That's a pot of duality, and our opponent has seen enough. We dug them a hole, and we threw them in it. And that's the deck. The Submissive Terrors. One of my favorite decks. I love flip strategies, as you saw in maybe the Ursa Arctic video. I love playing that grindy sort of control game when it is powerful enough to do so. Now, a few things about this deck. We are running an incredibly low monster count. Yes, we do have searching and recursion, but that is something that this deck can occasionally brick on, which is why we're running all of the draw spells. We also are a pseudo floodgate deck. I'm only really playing the 2 goes in match, but I've seen plenty of versions of this deck that play things like Skill Drain is not your best option since we are so contingent on activating those flip effects, but things like There Can Be Only One, even sometimes things like Rivalry of Warlords if we're really down bad, and of course a full complement of all of the Solemns. I'm only playing 2 and 2 here, but a lot of that is just because I didn't want to invest the UR dust into more Solemns and potentially There Can Be Only Ones. Another thing is how much you want to incorporate the Dogmatica Punishment engine, things in the extra deck. I'm not playing any Elder Entity Entices, but that is a huge pickup for this deck. Once again, that's a UR. There are other fossil versions that you can play, as well as a bunch of the things like the Shadow package, which you can then potentially tech into the deck with something like a Schism. So there's a few different ways to customize this deck, but really the loop of Guru plus Fiendus and then being able to also continually banish with that singular Umastrix is one that I'm super fond of. I love this deck, and I'm going to be continuing to play it and innovate it on it, so let me know if you want to see this again. Jules out.